Hi there, this is my latest poem as promised and threatened perhaps last time. I was going to call this Supreme Court Against Women, but I realized that my technical legal knowledge is not that good, and I'm much better served to write kind of a broad-based situational poem. I realized that eh, this may be a bit problematic, me being a man writing about this. It is my reaction to Roe v. Wade being overturned, as well as some of the greater context under which that's taken place. But given my manness, I think that many people will be happy with my reasoning because of my madness. And also, I've looked at this from a Christian challenge, because most of the people, at least in the West, that seem to be opposed to abortion, oppose it on Christian grounds. So I've challenged that even. Uh, this will close my show at Sempo on Wednesday, so I'm not sharing it on Facebook till after then. But here is the latest poem. With no further ado, it is called "The World Against Women." I cannot fathom why anyone would want to turn the clock back so far when it needs to be wound forcefully forward for autonomy and care for all the oppressed. The only reason I can see for counterclockwise movement would be to take inspiration and ideas from our nature-based cousins of the past and present so that we might live in greater symbiosis with the earth instead of destroying it and ourselves. But we must diligently strive to avoid the prejudice of pre-industrialized times. And that prejudice has been completely pervasive for women. For much of American history, women were not allowed to own property or vote, and in some countries today they cannot drive and must hide everything but their eyes. And in more progressive places, they are not given equal pay or the same prestige as their male counterparts. Hmm. Imagine being sexualized from the tip of your toes to the core of your soul everywhere you go. You risk being bothered or worse by some man who thinks he has the right to your company. And if he has enough evil in him, he could probably overpower you and do the worst you can fear. Imagine the horror of living in such a world. That horror was all too real for a 10-year-old child who was raped and under her state's new rules is being forced to carry her pregnancy to term. If it was up to me, that rapist gets castrated and locked away for a very long time. And that poor little girl, she gets her pregnancy terminated immediately, and she gets all the love and compassion that can be given so that she might one day recover from her terror. I was surprised to learn abortion was legal in the States until the mid 1800s, but not surprised why they banned it. White people feared immigrants would overwhelm their stranglehold on power, and the dogmatism of the church, both through bigotry. I've never understood how someone who loves Jesus could side with the rulers and swallow their lies. Jesus was a rebel who struck down the tables of the crooked bankers of his day. If he were alive now, he would preach vehemently against the greed that causes so many to be homeless and starve. And let's not forget, the woman he loved most of all was a sex worker. How do you think he would feel about our modern day Pharisees having dominion over her body? Maybe she decided it was best not to have the baby of a man who was to be crucified. I'm no expert on when consciousness begins. I couldn't say whether or not life begins at conception. I'm sure that in many cases an adopted baby has a fantastic life, but I can't be sure that its mother didn't suffer unfathomably to bring her pregnancy to term. I can't be sure that her baby goes to a good family. Many language in foster care their entire childhood. I'm sure there are monsters who present well enough to fool the experts, and they treat a child in such a way they never recover. I know that incredible people can come from the worst circumstances. But my experience has taught me that if the circumstances are too awful, most never recover enough to have a good life. I can't be sure that 10-year-old girl will ever be okay. And I can't see how any committee of men, blinded by dogmatism and corruption, could reach the most humane conclusion. And because the pregnancies take place inside a woman's womb, and because she must bear so much of the burden herself, we must leave it up to her to decide. I hope I hit that right. Uh, Come see me for a live rendition Wednesday at Semple for that and other things. Brand new stand up, never been done before. Hope you like it and see y'all soon. Okay, bye for now.